Many of us, when we start off as entrepreneurs, we have these huge, lofty dreams and we think really big and we know that we can create these huge, monstrous goals. And although I am a huge proponent to thinking and dreaming big, I'm going to tell you right now that there is a lot of value in thinking small when you're just getting started as an entrepreneur. Because what thinking small allows us to do is it gives us permission to start where we're presently at, first of all. Because if we don't start where we're at, it's kind of like wanting to drive from Florida to Texas and then plotting the course from New York to Texas. It's just not going to work. We need to take stock of where we're presently at in order to get to where we want to go in the shortest period of time with the least amount of effort. That's just the way it works. And also, when we think small, it helps us to focus in on the most important activities that we need to engage in order to get the next level of results that's could be possibly the most important result that we ever get, because it leads to the next result and the next result after that. Just so you know, my name is Nathaneal Mohr, and in this video what I'm going to share with you are 7 tips, 7 areas that you can focus in, that you can think a little bit smaller and get massively faster results than when you just have a big vision, because we have to be able to fluctuate between our big ideas and the small ones in order to actively get to where we want to go with our businesses. So our very first step is, of course, to think small when we are creating goals. Now, I'm not, again, discouraging a big goal. What I'm saying is take your larger goal and chunk it down into actionable steps that you can reach and you can grab. If we are always within arm's reach of a goal, what that does is that builds confidence as we're just getting started as entrepreneurs, which builds momentum, which again builds more confidence and then creates better results for us. Our very next thing to focus on is to make sure that we promise small and over-deliver to our friends and our family if we're sharing our goals with them. Because if you're like me anyways, there was a couple false starts. And what I found myself in a position of is sharing these big lofty goals with people and then being like, yeah, whatever, that's just kind of Nate. And then giving me doubt and then expressing their doubt to me. And that kind of, at the time, slowed down my progress a little bit because I believed them and I respected them in their opinions. So what I'm going to tell you right now is either do not share your goals with other people because they might be negative if they're just your people that are in your life, that your family and your friends or your spouse or someone like that, or if you've had a couple false starts. What I want to encourage you to do, if you have to include someone, so they need to know what you're doing with that extra time in the evening or whatever the case might be when you're starting your first business, make sure that you let them know, give them the smaller version of your goal, or give them the very first step that you want to reach, or tell them about the very first sale you want to make and how you plan on getting there. Get buy-in for just that, and then let that grow organically from there. Okay. So our very next area to think small about is our overall business activities, because there's very few activities that we actively are engaged in our business that are absolutely necessary in order to get to our first, second, or third sale, or in order to create revenue in our business. So what I want to encourage you to do is narrow your focus and do fewer things and hold those things accountable for actual results in your business. That step is really closely related to the idea of choosing just one small marketing process, or committing yourself to one marketing funnel, or one product that you're going to sell when you get started. Because we really don't have a business if we don't have a product or service to sell. And it takes a lot of focus to master a specific marketing process. So I want to encourage you to do is just focus in on one marketing process, give that everything you have until you master that, and then move to the next one. Our next area to think smaller about is to focus in on that first sale if you haven't made it yet. If you've made your first sale, then focus on your next and your next one after that. Because when we zero in our focus on creating that next sale, what we do is we kind of streamline the areas of actions that we're going to take in order to take the actions that are going to give us the most important results that we can get. Now, if we're just getting started, that first sale can be the toughest one and also the most important one we make, because when we make that first sale, there's a certain part that just kind of sparks inside of us, that piece of pride that we know we're heading in the right direction and we're doing the right thing. So what I want to encourage you to do if you're just getting started is just to focus on creating your first sale or selling your first product or your first service. The next step or area to think small about is going to be on your budget. Now, a lot of us, if we have credit or we have, some money that we've been saving up for our small business or our entrepreneurial ventures, we might try to solve a problem by throwing money at it. I know I did that when I was first getting started, and what I found was if I let that go and I forced myself to really think through and master any kind of first level or foundational stuff in my business as I was getting started, I had a better understanding of the basic mechanics of my business. It helped me to make better decisions as I invested my money in the future, and it gave me more in reserves so that I was able to bridge any gaps, any financial gaps that I needed to make while I was building momentum with my business. So again, I want to encourage you to think small with your budget as you move forward and as you get started as an entrepreneur. The last one that I want to share with you or talk to you about is to think small by starting part-time. A lot of us don't really, I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs that never really get started. They have this idea that they want to, build, they want to do, but because they think that they don't have enough time to get things going, they just leave it on the shelf or they never really do it. Well, it really only takes 10 hours a week of uninterrupted focus to get something going enough in order to find more time. So what I want to encourage you to do is if you haven't actively engaged out or started a business that you've wanted to for a long time because you have a job or whatever the case might be, I want to encourage you to start, because part-time is cool. It's cool to start part-time because you can take that part-time and you can turn that into a dream and a lifestyle that you've been actively knowing that you could have created probably a while ago, but you haven't because of your job and you don't believe that you have enough time, which you do. So I want to encourage you to do that. And that's pretty much it. So what I want to, again, the biggest takeaway from this video is again to focus, make sure that we're thinking small and focusing in on the most appropriate activities to get us to our next level of results that are important, as well as to think small and so that way we give ourselves permission to start where we're at along our business and entrepreneurial journey. So other than that, I look forward to seeing your comments and your opinions, and I do read all the comments. So have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.